We're the blue team, and our product is Club Film.
So we consider joy something that brings people together, and perhaps nothing exemplifies more than technology. We use technology to call, to text, to interact with our family, video games, etc. But for 58 million people across North America alone, this is difficult because of impaired mobility due to diseases like arthritis or carpal tunnel, and this makes it difficult to access your traditional consumer technologies because now your traditional technological inputs like mice, controllers, keyboards, they're a lot harder to use. So some solutions do exist now, like the Xbox Adaptive Controller and the arthritis mouse. It's a trackball mouse that's meant to help with arthritis, but there's a couple issues with these. One, they're kind of large, they're kind of clunky, and two, you're not going to find them day-to-day, for example, in the CAD computer lab or in like your local library. So, obvious solution to this problem, we wanted something that would help people with low hand dexterity interact with technology efficiently. And to do this, we wanted to have a wide market because obviously for something to be accessible, you have to be able to access it. And that's why it's important that we have something that all kinds of people can use. And to that end, that's why we also focused on having affordable pricing. Because this means that you can have it more schools can afford it, people can afford it, local libraries can afford it, and so on. Finally, we want to be competitive with your traditional mouse and trackpad, so that way people can start using the cufflink as their new alternative.
So this is the cufflink. Before we can understand how to use our product, you have to understand that we don't want people to worry about that. The best thing that humans can do is move. Our hands, fingers, joints, and muscles have been developed over tens of billions of years to move in the exact, precise, and accurate way that they do. We want anybody to be able to control any computer, phone, iPad, screen, tablet, whatever, with their hands the same way that humans start doing. And so, to that end, we created cufflink. On the cufflink, we determined which types of sensors, peripherals, and components we would need to figure out what exactly our hand is doing at all times, and translate that into code which we can use to control the computer. So everything is housed in the CPU body, and it's fully Bluetooth with a LiPo battery, which is rechargeable through our USB-C port. One of our main sources of input is this electromyography muscle sensor, which detects the voltage potential across your skin and contraction muscles. And as you'll see later, this shows when you contract your muscles, and it can tell you exactly how much you have. We also have various buttons and signal LEDs, which can allow the user to know what is going on, change modes, establish status, or obviously turn the power on. And everything is being powered by ESP32 dev board, which we programmed using C++ for its fast speeds and Bluetooth connectivity.
So one issue we ran into in the development of our product was, so the device is mounted on the arm movement is rather coarse, and we want this to be as accessible and as precise as we can for day-to-day computer tasks. So in order to further our goal of accessibility, we also added a ring module that mounts to the finger using the same flexible TPU chassis as the main cufflink. And this has some advantages because your finger movement is much more precise when you're controlling a cursor via the cufflink than the arm-mounted solution. And you also have optional buttons if you'd like a different way to click. And that is the inertial measurement unit, which again controls the orientation for the ring module.
So let's see how we can actually use this. We're going to switch to the camera in a second, but as you can see here, essentially it starts off by fitting our TPU body to your forearm using the adjustable Velcro and elastic straps. You can loosen it to fit your wrist, place it on, and then make sure that it's connected. So Ethan is going to demonstrate how we can put this on. So the first thing you do is just undo the Velcro strap, which is already undone. Slide your forearm through, and then make sure that it makes contact with your skin so that the muscle sensors can work. And then you tighten it. So there's also the ring module. Which you just place around your finger like a ring. And let's see using this. Let's make it here. As you can see, as Ethan moves the mouse around, it moves around on the screen. And so let's try to click that. This allows you to prototype and do CAD and engineering the same way that Tony Stark would, using your hands and dragging and dropping stuff around. It's much more intuitive than But there are also a ton of other ways that you can use it. As we said, it's kind of a one-size-fits-all with the device. So why don't we see what some other people have done? So right here, we have a muscle sensor. You can try to full screen. And so that's Sean there, and as you can see, as he moves his muscle around, it can detect some of the different orientations that he is in just by reading voltage potential across his forearm. Which, like we said, would be useful for users who don't have fully dexterous hands, but still have ligaments in their forearms. So you can use it for basically any use case that you can use a mouse for. So I think up here we have Justin playing Clunker IO with it. And to speak to the durability of our product, TPU 95A is actually stronger than a car tire. So you can wear this daily and it definitely will not break.
So, we wanted to see how a product would stack up to a traditional input device, like a trackpad. I'm sure all of you have used a trackpad. It's very intuitive, but not more intuitive than the cufflink. So, our testing showed accuracy was not a negligible difference in a matched pair's confidence interval, but what was actually very interesting is we found that the speed was also an insignificant difference. In fact, we found that the top 3 testers of our 10 sample actually scored faster using the cufflink. Keep in mind, this was their first time using the cufflink. You have used trackpads your entire life. So imagine how good you could get at this new mode of computer input and how intuitive and simple and quick it is to function to input things on a computer with this method.
As for electronic design, I'm sure that many people are wondering how we wired it up when we're using this flexible housing. So obviously we can't use rigid PCBs like the Purple team because they just break if they had to bend and form to people's finger sizes or hand sizes. So we had to develop our own way of wiring on this print, and we did that using copper tape. So we developed our own system for PCB design using copper tape, which we use cyanoacrylate to bond to the TPU and solder to for all of our components.
So going back to our roots, just like all of our fellow PED products, the cufflinks started off as a simple sketch. But as we were focusing on accessibility, our product grew from there. So we shifted our focus to making sure that it was as adaptable to as many people as possible, which is why we added accessible Velcro and elastic to adapt to people's arms. We added Bluetooth because everyone hates wires. And we also added a ring module to allow more precise control.
So now onto the pricing of our product. $130 per ounce. That seems like a lot, but really it's not. Take a look at our competitors. You've got the Xbox adaptive controller, $100, but it's literally a big slab with 2 buttons. This is the antithesis of ergonomics. You're paying $100 for it, and then look at Meta. That's our closest competitor. Also, a wristband with an electromyography sensor. They took $500 million to develop what we have on stage today in venture capital funding. So I think you can believe me when I say that $160 is incredibly good value for our product. That is a 20% markup in our retail price.
That was a wonderful demonstration. I'm definitely going to be using this team for some pointers in the future. So now for some questions. How does your design compete against a conventional mouse?
So I'll answer that. So as Nicole stated in our presentation, your biological hand is like the most pure, accurate form of movement. When you translate that into a big, clunky mouse that can only move in 2 dimensions, it's not going to be great. Add on the effects of carpal tunnel or arthritis, and you are not easily using the computer. The benefit of our device is that it adds the innateness and the intrinsic ability to use it back into your hand. This is what the mouse is missing. It's so intuitive that it is miles better than a mouse, especially if you have some sort of dexterity limitation because of how clunky and obsolete the mouse is as a form of input.
Question number 2. Would people with limited hand dexterity have difficulty putting on the cufflink unassisted?
Yeah, I can say this. So, as our wonderful coworker Ethan demonstrated, it is definitely possible to put on the cufflink with one hand unassisted, but we can admit that it's not perfect. So, the beautiful part about accessibility is that it's a continuously evolving technology. So, as time goes over, we will be continuously adjusting our product to make it function better in the future.
Finally, did you guys rely on any inspiration during your design and engineering process?
Yeah, I think that if it's not already extremely obvious, Tony Stark was probably our biggest inspiration. I mean, he's probably the best engineer out there, and I think that this is taking us one step closer to him. I definitely felt pretty good when I was doing CAD, moving our robotic arm around with it, but until we get a holograms, I think this is the best that anybody's got.
Phenomenal answers. I'd like to welcome Ari and Cynthia